For today's video I have AOVO M365 Elite. Yes, that's one more knockoff of Xiaomi M365. Probably the biggest upside of the scooter is the price. So today it retails for 250 euros. And my experience with these Xiaomis and Xiaomi knockoffs, that they tend to last. Assembly of the scooter is really simple. You just have to remove all the packing materials and install the 4 screws to hold the handlebars. That's it. The scooter is assembled and ready to go. The scooter comes with an app, and manufacturer claims you can increase speed up to 35 km per hour using that. Alright, we have connected to Bluetooth first try. No problems. Here we have it. Right, we are in sports mode. We want 0 start. Right, there are different speed modes. We have the light on. Energy recover, low or off. Speed limit 3. We remove the speed limit. Set it to 60 km per hour. The speedometer is showing bullshit. It shows 55, 60. We're not even up to 30, I'm pretty sure. So if you change the speed limit, it will show you absolute bullshit. Now it shows 60 km per hour. There is no way. It's a bit more trickier now as I cannot use my brakes. 50. 54, which is 23. So when it shows 60, in actual fact, it's at 25 km per hour. 26, so it's still gaining speed. 27. It only changes what does it show here, it doesn't change the actual speed. So right away, it was on 30. Let's use 30 and see if we still get to 27. So now it shows 30 and we're going 26. So basically it doesn't matter what you change on that app. It doesn't really change the speed. That's a bit disappointing. Not gonna lie. It's 27. Let's play with it now. Let's say speed limit 20. So the scooter says speed limit 20. Alright, so now it actually limits the speed. I can feel slower. So probably if I set maximum at 27, then the speedometers will simply correspond to the actual speed. A little bit disappointing that the app doesn't do what it should. Well, it connects easily, but the speed adjustment simply doesn't change anything but just the value that you see on the dashboard. A pretty big upside of these Xiaomi frames, the steering angle is actually well managed. So you can easily steer these scooters with one hand, and actually after practicing more, you can go without using hands at all. Not every electrical scooter will have this nice and balanced steering. Some of them are impossible to ride with one hand, and if you go over a little bump or something, the steering is really vibrating left, right and center. It's actually easier to ride these scooters without hands when you're using inflatable tires, because then the road is less bumpy and also the tire feels more rounded. I don't know how to explain it. It feels more stable when you go from left to right. These tires feel more like it drops when you go too far, when you lean too far left or right. I hope that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of non-inflatable tires because they provide a rougher ride and also they are way more slippery on the wet and leaves. And as you can imagine, living in Denmark, this is mainly where I ride. Doesn't mean it's impossible to ride in these conditions. It is possible, but I rather prefer inflatable tires. Probably you can hear it now in my voice. It gives a lot of vibration when you go on the rougher surface, and that's just not what I prefer. Holy guacamole. This is so rough. My goodness. Upsides of non-inflatable tires is that you cannot get a puncture, and if you need a reliable mode of transportation to get you to your workplace and back home, well, that can be a decent choice for you. Actually, I'm impressed by these tires. Look, they don't slip. These are really sketchy conditions. To be honest, I think these were some of the best non-inflatable tires I have ever tried, because not at a single moment in a cold and wet conditions that I felt that they're gonna slip on a corner or something like that. So if I ever had to choose non-inflatable tires, I would take these ones. The brakes are actually good. I'm quite impressed with the braking power, should I say? What I want to say is that the scooter can stop really quickly. Let's take an example. There will be little downhill here towards the fountain. So hopefully I can get more speed, as now the scooter is struggling a bit as the battery goes really low. But we will get some speed here. So let's say we go 27. I hit the brakes. I can actually block the rear wheel easily and we can stop pretty fast. It's good. Brakes are good. I like the brakes. Folding mechanism looks solid. Can do little bunny hops. Still solid. Not only is it solid, but it's also easy to operate. So you lift up the handlebars and you just press the lever and it locks. When you want to open it, you have to push that little lever up, unlock, and then you can lower the handlebars and fold your scooter for storage or for easy transportation. The battery is dying. It's a super tiny uphill. So we are on 4%, 3% of the battery, and we did 14.2 kilometers. I will say that's about it. I'm not going to drain it more. I'm going to stop right now. I am a 90 kilogram rider and it was around 10 degrees Celsius, but it's still very far stretch from the claimed 35 kilometers of range on the seller's website. Last but not least, it looks everything is alright with the materials and overall build quality on the scooter, which was not the case with some of the previous models. The only one downside is how this bolt cover is mounted over this metal bracket, leaving this gap, so that doesn't look cool. Other than that, everything looked pretty good. Absolutely like that there is this rubber here. It weatherproofs the battery compartment. As you can see right here, the battery has a plastic frame and it's mounted firmly. It's nice that it's fixed, and also the controller is mounted with the screws. No reason for it to wobble, rattle, and nothing is wobbling or rattling inside the scooter. So it looks nice and neat. Everything nice and neat around the cables. Also, it's very simple. If you need to replace the battery, you can get a standard 10S battery pack and replace it. Same with the controller. It shouldn't be a difficult task to replace the controller if it fails for whatever the reason. One more great thing about the scooter, that you can make it waterproof. This button is subject for water leaking inside, especially when you press it. So when it's raining and if you have some water puddle accumulated here, don't press it. But even if you don't press that button, the water can get in. You can 3D print something like that. You put it on, and now the scooter is waterproof. You can actually even see through. This is glow-in-the-dark filament. Anyways, you can choose different filaments. There are different designs of these. If you have a fast printer like I do, this print took me around 20 minutes. And if I'm going out on a rainy day, I just put one of those on. Now, in case if you don't have a 3D printer, the good thing that these scooters were so popular, there's so many accessories. I'm pretty sure you can buy the cover online, same as you can buy the bag hooks and different fenders and different tires and whatnot for M365 model. So to sum the things up, for 250 euros you get 15 kilometers of range. That's if you're a 90 kilogram rider like me. You get 27 kilometers per hour maximum speed. Of course, if you are a lighter rider, you probably will get more speed and more range. You get non-inflatable tires that provide you a bit of a bumpy ride, but you won't get punctures. The scooter is almost waterproof. If you can get the cap over the on-off button, it becomes waterproof, so you can ride it in light rain. Well, it doesn't mean you can go underwater and die with it. Don't do that. It won't survive this. The scooter is light, it's not too big, it's not too flashy. For me, it's a poor budget commuter that can do the job, bring you to work and back. There is some fuzziness around that app. You can adjust the speed limits, which don't really adjust anything but what your dashboard shows. Other than that, there is no really huge downsides per se. The build quality was really okay. Are there better scooters in the market? Of course there are. Are there better scooters for 250 euros? Good question. Would be interesting to do some comparisons. For the price that the AOVO are asking, AOVO M365 Elite, it's definitely a step up from other M365 versions I reviewed before. And it's a decent scooter for the money, so that's my verdict. If you want to buy it, I will put the link in the description below. It's not an affiliate link. I get nothing for the sales of these scooters. Would I recommend it for a friend? I would recommend it for a friend that's looking for really cheap workhorse. But maybe, just maybe, I would recommend him or her to replace the tires into inflatable ones.